Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Friday, March 11th, 2022. I hope you're in a really good mood like I am today. Honestly, we got to embrace everything that we have. And remember, as always, we are surrounded with little puffs of freaking loveliness. People, let's talk about this market, what's going on, the threat that we just heard from former Fed chairperson Janet Yellen, the troll, whatever she is, it's a thing. Now she's, the U.S. Treasury Secretary. We have a lot to talk about, so just sit back for a moment. Let's start off with the markets. Stock futures, a wild, absolutely insane ride overnight. Stock futures were down across the board hundreds of points overnight. Now, this morning, guess what? We're higher by a few hundred points. Imagine my shock. I tell you, people, it's such a freak show. But let's look at the drivers here. The U.S. 10-year yield above 2%. Market's going to love it here. Once it settles here, again, we're going to see volatility. I would not be surprised to see us drop down again. Right now, again, there's so much uncertainty in this market with the war. Apparently, there's going to be more talks today between, Russia and Ukraine. All this is a mechanism to prolong everything that's going on here. Every crisis must be prolonged, and I mean freaking prolonged. So on the back of that, we got the 10-year yield, like I said, little above 2%. The dollar slightly weaker. Stock futures higher after that incredible ride last night. I'm watching the futures last night. I'm up all night long pretty much. And I'm like, this is just incredible, really. Anyway, what else is going on? So I want to read a few things to you. So because our economy here in the United States is so incredibly strong, U.S. GDP forecast has just been downgraded again. It seems like a repeated cycle here. No surprise. Look, the propaganda, the lies, the distortions, the deceit is we are doing so great. Our economy is booming. Meanwhile, you all know this. As a percentage of GDP, the U.S. economy is cratering at its fastest pace ever in history. This is a global phenomenon. Again, world central banks are very successful right now in making sure the global economy stays in the state of decline that it currently is, so they can fulfill their end game to be the lenders and buyers of last resort, to own it all. Let's propagate wars, arms races, whatever they got to do. This is how it's going to play out. So no surprise, U.S. GDP forecast was downgraded yet again. Now let's talk about this threat here that we got from Janet Yellen. Listen to her wording. This is a quote. "We will be seeing here in the United States very uncomfortably high inflation yet to come." So she's explaining what you and I already know, that we haven't seen anything yet with regard to inflation. We have a dollar here that's deflating. It's dying by design. She knows it. She must have been rolling over when she heard the current freak Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, talking about transitory. She knew it wasn't transitory, but she couldn't say anything. Oh, no. She had to keep her ugly, disgusting pie hole, vomitous thing, closed and not allow people to know the truth that we were going to see skyrocketing inflation. Then we get our retard president. You have to understand, when I say that, I mean this in the highest possible order. He's pointing his finger again at the war. He's pointing his finger again at Putin for inflation. The fact of the matter is we had surging inflation prior to the war. He can't let you know that. He thinks you're too stupid. He thinks he's smarter than you are. How about a piece of excrement is smarter than he is? Okay, that's the truth. He's a mouthpiece like every other president is. And he's told what to say, and he wouldn't know any better either way. Anyway, I think you all know that. The Fed had missed its target by hundreds of percent, overshot its inflation target by hundreds of percent prior to the war. Over 7% prior to the war. Yeah, we've still gone higher, but he's pointing his finger. He can't let you know what's really going on, that this is the Federal Reserve. This is the I mean, this current retard, the last retard, Trump, and the retard before that, Obama, they have done nothing but have the central bank inflate on an epic scale. So, we're seeing inflation right now. You and I knew this was coming from years ago. But again, you must be distracted. You must be led astray and deceived. Imagine my shock there. Now, look, with regard to other assets, let's move forward here. Crude oil remains under pressure after, again, Brent crude hitting 137. It's come down substantially now. The reason why it is down this morning is because Russia is saying that it will fulfill its contractual obligations to supply crude oil to whoever they're supplying it to. All right, so crude oil has calmed down. And again, we got the UAE promising, and I wouldn't put any weight into this at all, that they will be increasing production. Look, OPEC, they want crude higher, and they're going to make sure it happens. Anyway, I want to talk about something else because I've been hearing about this for a couple of days, and this morning, when I always check my email, people seem to be believing something, and I want to clarify this. There's a lot of people now pointing towards a Russian debt default as the black swan. That's going to bring down the world stock markets. How about no, it's not? No. Look, I know a lot of you are being led astray and told things from other YouTube channels and YouTubers that are completely false. Again, what they're trying to do is get you to watch their videos. They're in the same boat as the mainstream propaganda because they're trying to deceive you as well. If you can see and point at a specific thing that's going to be the black swan, it's not the black swan. Okay, that's the easiest thing to remember. Okay, yes, there's a lot of speculation that Russia is going to default on its debt. Is it going to happen? Well, probably. But it's already being priced into the market. Not only is it being priced into the market, I told you just yesterday, I've been saying this. Any institution, any major bank that is holding Russian debt, it's not going to matter. It's going to be forgiven because it's a crisis, because it's an emergency. They're going to get bailed out. Hey, people, I hope you understand what's going on here. And, look, I understand that a lot of you still remain in some kind of a state of panic and fear, and you're being misled. Again, look over here. That's the black swan. The Russian debt default is going to bring down the financial system. We're going to get a market crash. This is probably from the same people that have been calling for a market crash every freaking month, maybe even every freaking week for the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and they've been wrong 100% of the time. We are nowhere near a market crash right now, people. Please stop with this. You got a stable debt market. It's a hyper bubble. It's getting inflated right now even more so than ever, and you knew this was going to happen because I told you at the beginning of the year how this was going to play out this year. Debts and deficits are going to continue to balloon. They're going to find any reason imaginable and things you can't even dream about to continue to inflate the debt. Until we see a meltdown in the debt market, we will not get the major big market crash. Absolutely, we can see volatility. We have an S&P 500 about 11% off a record high. It's nothing. It's normal. And we have people, again, I know where this is coming from. I really do. Turn these freaking imbeciles off. Oh, it's the crash. I promise I'm right this time. It's the crash. You make it up. It's impossible to do. They won't explain to you that the stock market is a derivative of the debt market because they don't know that, because they're not market people. They're just out here trying to propagandize you the same as the mainstream media is. Me, I give it to you as straight as I possibly can. If you don't like my style, that's fine. But I don't sugarcoat anything, and I tell you exactly how it is. It's the truth. It really is. Anyway, so, in summary real quick, we got a 10-year yield that's stable today, looking great, above 2%, dollar weaker last time I looked. Stock futures higher after an incredible ride. Crude oil a little bit lower because Russia's going to fulfill their contractual obligations. A retard president pointing towards everything that's not true for causes of inflation because he thinks you're stupid, but he's stupid. He's beyond stupid. I think you all know that. And then we get an admission here of, it's incredible here to hear this. Let me ask you sincerely, since we now have former Fed chair, current Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warning, threatening that very uncomfortably high inflation is yet to come, when is someone going to be held account? Do you think the Fed will be held to account? No, because we have the President of the United States, the biggest retard on the planet, quite possibly, trying to deceive you. Oh, it's Russia. It's Russia. It's not the Fed. No, because no world leader. Think about it. I've told you to think about this many times. Why will not a single world leader ever point their finger at their central bank? Because the central banks are the government. They rule it all. Maybe they would find a bullet in their head if they were to do something like that. I have no idea. It has happened in the past. I think you know what I'm talking about here. And then we got this Russian debt default. It's not the black swan. It's not the black swan. I'm calm now. People, look, I'm out of here. You and I, we got this, okay? We got it from every freaking angle you can think about. Cryptocurrencies right now, I didn't cover that real quick. Still hovering around 39,000-ish. Gold and silver under some pressure right now. What else would you expect despite the weaker dollar? It's such a game. It's an absolute game. And that's another part of it. No one will ever be held to account for that. We know who's doing it. We know why they're doing it. Nope. No one will do a damn thing about it. When you're a Wall Street super bank, you can do anything. Love you a lot. Please share the video. Please comment. See you later.